Throughout this PowerPoint, we will discuss the evolution, conservation, and anatomy of crabs, taking a deeper dive into Japanese spider crabs to understand what lives beneath our oceans. We chose crabs during our trip to Oxford Natural History Museum. Specific features intrigued us and made us want to dive deeper into the topic. Hopefully, by the end of this video, you'll become more informed and will have a greater understanding of our favourite deep-sea creature, the crab.
Crabs are part of the arthropodia phylum, which means they're invertebrates with an exoskeleton, joint legs, and are closely related to shrimp and lobster. Their subphylum is the Mengelata group, and their class is the Crustacea group, which mainly consists of aquatic arthropods. Their order of Crustacea is the decapods. Cartinisation is how several species have evolved into crab-like body forms, even if they weren't closely related. Scientists believe that this happened more than 5 times in evolutionary history. The crabs evolved through convergent evolution by having short, flattened bodies with a thick hard shell and their abdomen tucked under their thorax with powerful claws. Scientists think this happened because it's highly adaptive for marine life and increased the chance of reproduction and survival. The timeline shows over 360 million years ago the first decapods started to form, such as shrimp, crabs and lobsters. 250 to 50 million years ago, multiple independent cartinizations had occurred, causing the crab population to grow and expand. They have evolved drastically over this period. 200 million years ago, true crabs appeared. They are crabs that belong to the Brachyura group, which don't include king crabs, horseshoe crabs and others. Now in the present day, there are hundreds of crab species that occupy marine and land habitats around the world. The pattern in the evolution of crabs are that a majority haven't evolved together, but they have found the same ending as is the best way to survive and reproduce. Crabs have evolved to have tails that tuck in and flatten the body. This creates the illusion that crabs are smaller, so they are less viable to predators. Also, being smaller so that they can hide in crevices and between rocks, which is more viable shelter than carrying around shells to hide in.
There are approximately 4,500 species of crabs worldwide. However, some scientists believe there are over 6,700. Crabs walk sideways. This is a survival strategy that has evolved for both male and female crabs. This sideways walking allows them to navigate rugged and diverse terrain surfaces and detect threats easily. Crabs use their pincers and body movements to communicate. This is a unique way of interacting with other crabs in and around their environment. These features contribute to a crab's adaptability and survival in unique and diverse aquatic environments. Crabs have 10 legs. With the first pair adapting into claws and chelipeds, the remaining 8 legs are used for walking and moving around. These legs are jointed and can move in different directions, allowing crabs to walk backwards and sideways. The walking legs also have small hairs that help the crab grip onto surfaces and climb over obstacles. The chelipeds are used for various purposes. Chelipeds are used for including catching and eating food, defending against predators, and fighting between other crabs. The claws are very powerful and can exert a lot of force. This allows the crab to crush hard-shelled prey or defend them against predators. Swimmerets are small, leg-like structures located on the underside of the crab's body. These structures are mostly used for swimming and reproduction. In males, the first pair of swimmerets have evolved into reproductive organs. However, in females, the swimmerets are used to carry eggs. Crab eyes are on stalks. They are able to withdraw their eyes into their sockets. Crabs have compound eyes. This means their eye is made up of hundreds of thousands of individual light sensors. Unlike humans, crabs don't see a single image. They see a mosaic that is repeated. This makes a blurry picture. In lighted conditions, the ommatidia becomes pigmented. This is so to reduce the amount of light that is entering the eye. When it gets darker, the pigment will crystallize and allow light into the eye. It is seen that the deeper the environment is that the crab lives in, the bigger their eyes are. This is to let what little light there is available in. A crab's claws play a vital part in adaptation and survival. They're used for hunting, defense, interaction with the environment, and many other functions. The crab claw is composed of a few key components that allows it to function. Each claw is divided into distinct parts. First is the carpus. This is the segment closest to the crab's body. Secondly is the propodes. This is the main section of the claw. Thirdly is the dactyl, which is the tip of the claw. The claw being divided up allows it to have a full range of movement, which is essential for survival. The crab's exoskeleton is composed of 3 layers: the epicuticle, exocuticle, and endocuticle. The epicuticle is the outermost layer. This layer is waxy and very thin. The epicuticle helps to prevent water from being lost through the shell. The exocuticle is the middle layer. This is thicker and provides support and strength to the exoskeleton. The endocuticle is the innermost layer. This is thin and quite flexible and helps to protect the crab's inner organs. Crabs undergo a process called molting. Molting is where they shed their old exoskeleton and form a new one to accommodate for growth. The process of molting is controlled by hormones. This process can take several weeks to complete as it uses a lot of energy. While the new exoskeleton is forming, the crab is very vulnerable to predators, so must hide in a safe place until the process is complete. The exoskeleton is segmented, allowing for flexibility and movement. The plates are connected by a system of tendons, ligaments, and muscles. These allow the crab to move its leg, body, and claws. The joints can be found to be covered in a thin layer of cartilage. This helps to reduce friction and abrasion on the exoskeleton. The body of a crab consists of two main sections, the carapace and the abdomen. The carapace serves as a protective armour, shielding the crab's internal organs. Meanwhile, the abdomen holds the crab's reproductive organs and provides flexibility for movement.
Spider crabs are an example of true crabs. They are part of the decapodal order and the Margidae family and are believed to have evolved in the Cretaceous period 100 million years ago. They share a common ancestor with true crabs, however, due to diverged lineage, they split off from other true crab families and developed adaptations to help them survive on the seafloor. Spider crabs are very diverse, with over 800 species, including the Japanese spider crab, which has the largest leg span of any arthropod, around 3.75 meters. We got to see a Japanese spider crab at the Natural History Museum, which had been there for over 100 years, which interested us and inspired us to do our research project on crabs. Spider crabs have evolved due to natural selection, and these advantageous traits have increased survival and reproductive success. The spider crab's bumpy shell helps them blend in with the rocks on the seafloor. Spider crabs also decorate their shells with things such as algae and coral pieces. However, this is more common in young spider crabs, as the size and the claws of the older crab is enough to deter predators. To prevent predation by stingrays and octopuses, many spider crabs are nocturnal, as they will be less visible, although this is again more common in juvenile crabs due to them being more vulnerable because of their smaller size. Spider crabs have very long, thin legs and a more triangular carapace compared to other crabs. This helps them navigate seafloor habitats, including coral reefs. It prevents them being buried, and it also allows them to elevate their body to escape predators. When females are ready to molt, a male will hold on to her to protect her from being attacked, as the soft shell will not provide protection. They also use this time to mate, which can happen into groups of up to 1,000 crabs. Using data from the ICUN, Cumberledge et al. Found that 1 in 6 freshwater crabs are at risk of extinction, with only 1/3 not being at any risk. This is due to anthropogenic threats, including overfishing, climate change, and habitat loss. Crabs have survived and evolved for millions of years, but these modern selection factors are happening much faster than natural evolutionary processes, meaning that some crab species will be unable to adapt quickly enough. However, it is not just freshwater crabs at risk. During the 2000s, the US snow crabs were declared as an all-time low due to overfishing, with just 12,000 crabs compared to 15,000 in 1991. There was also a study on the effects of ocean acidification, which is caused by an increase of CO2 and its effects on spider crabs. The results showed that at a lower pH, the larval development was slower, and when both temperature and CO2 increased, the survival rate of the larvae reduced. The crabs also found it harder to form and maintain their exoskeleton, which they need for protection from predators. These results show how conditions are quickly changing out of the crab's range of tolerance at a rate where the crabs can't evolve and adapt in time for survival and reproduction.
Conservation of crabs. Due to the increasing size of the human population, crabs have started to get affected by our actions, but what can we do to help? Throughout the years, overfishing has fluctuated rapidly. Crabs are harvested for food, and female-carrying eggs are often caught accidentally, reducing the reproduction and slowing down evolution. Something had to be done to stop this. Eventually, sustainable fishing practices, such as the Maryland blue crab fishery, laid out on the PowerPoint, where egg-bearing females were not allowed to be harvested, were put in place. To allow crabs to reproduce, other ideas also included quotas, size limits, and seasonal bans in places such as Sri Lanka to help populations recover without disrupting breeding cycles. Crabs are also affected by pollutions and plastics in the sea, such as oil spills and plastic waste contaminating their habitats. To reduce this, places like the UK no longer provide single-use plastic bags in supermarkets for free. An additional 10p charge was added, thus reducing the usage of plastic bags and endorsing usage of recyclable bags for life.